Manchester, England.
All right, Tokyo!
To the scenic shores of Chicago.
Are you ready?
I'm sorry, homie. We don't do no happy songs.
I don't know how to tell you this, but
That's right, this is Tapes You Leave Behind, and that was our theme song.
Sure was.
Sure was. This is Brian, joined by...
Emerald.
And today, we're doing a sequel to last time. We're looking at more theme songs.
Woohoo!
Change it up a little bit, though, this time. Last time, went a little lazy in my hunting, in my picking, and purely went with songs named after the artists themselves.
Right.
This time, dug a little deeper. Instead of just being named Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath or Bad Company by Bad Company, these ones aren't actually like named after the band, at least explicitly.
They are not?
They are not.
Got it.
Instead, they are more self-referential in the actual lyrics, which at times makes them more of a theme song, maybe less of a theme song. Some we'll discuss as we go along.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say, especially when you don't have any examples. Last time I mentioned what it was, and you're already like, oh, like Bad Company off Bad Company by Bad Company.
Yeah.
A little harder this time.
The only thing that comes to mind is I'm pretty sure there's like a NoFX song. Is that a spoiler alert?
I think there's probably like 10 NoFX songs where they reference
okay.
themselves. We could do like 3 hours talking about NoFX songs, talking about punk rock.
Yeah.
No NoFX today, though. No
Okay.
NoFX. No.
Okay.
I don't even think we get past
that.
1989.
Oh, wow. All right.
Which is actually very similar to last time. We didn't get super deep into...
Yeah.
I think we went to 1983 last time.
Yeah.
So we go a little farther. We don't go quite as far back either. And without further ado, let us get into it with our first one, because we got 10 of these bad boys to get through today. 1967, Creaky Alley by Mamas and the Papas.
John and Mitchie were getting kind of itchy just to leave the folk music behind.
Very autobiographical.
Yeah, lots of references.
Yeah, I mean, that's one that we could probably easily do a future, full song breakdown, line by line. There's so many characters referenced in that song that are all real.
Right, yeah.
And like through stages of what they're doing, like the beginning, just like, busking for change, pass around the hat, and then moving on and becoming bands.
Yep. Yeah.
So I said, like, they do sort of have to mention themselves. They never explicitly, like, really mentioned Mamas and Papas by name. Did you mention all 4 members?
Right.
John
yeah,
and
all of them.
Mitchie. John and Mitchell. Getting kind of itchy. Just to leave the folk music behind. Though clearly, then they join the Mamas and the Papas. And
Yeah.
that's still very folk.
That's definitely not folk anymore.
Then you got Zal and Denny. Denny, Mama and Papa. Zal would become a Loving Spoonful member. One of the bands mentioned later on in the song, too. And then Mama Cass mentioned at the end of like every verse
Yeah.
as, quote, getting fat.
Except the last time.
Except the last one where everybody's getting fat but her.
Yeah. Poor mama.
Poor mama. Now, there's 2 things to go with that. There's a bit of a triple layer joke going on with that.
Right.
The first one is that she was quite large for the time. So there's just immediate poke at that. Second, though, since the song is talking like pass around for like money, fat is also, euphemism for like making money, getting wealthy.
Yeah.
But the third one that the public did not know at the time was that she was pregnant.
Oh. See, I was like, why are you saying these things? It's very obvious.
Yeah, see, the third one is not obvious because she didn't have, like an actual like partner. She wasn't married or anything, so the pregnancy was hidden. So there's an extra wink going on when they were recording this album.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of layers.
Lots of layers. So as far as theme songs go, I think that works quite well.
Yeah.
That's like a television theme song of like,
Kinda. Yeah.
like the Brady Bunch or something, or Gilligan's Island, where they're explaining the entire show to you in the theme song.
Right. Yeah, I think it kind of gives a glimpse of, how they viewed their lives and their trajectory as well.
Right.
And it was just a good song.
It is quite good. I will say, I listen to these quite a bit before we do these.
Yeah.
The version that's on streaming on the album, Mamas and Papas Deliver, is listed as the single version. I know it's in parentheses. And on like headphones, the mix just is kind of terrible to listen to. Like it sounded
Interesting.
great when we were just listening to it in the stereo,
Yeah.
but the way it's set up is strange. Like the vocals have so much echo. And some of the instruments have like bleed over, and it's just so like apparently like empty sounding. It's really weird. It's a really weird mix. And when I was trying to like figure it out, like why does it sound like this? It sounds like there's two versions, and the single version was created to be more commercial, if you will. So it has like extra like horns and stuff added. So I don't know if it's like them like butchering it up to make it into that they ended up like splitting the vocals to like one side. And I just don't know why it still sounds like vacant. But
Right.
it's real weird to listen to on headphones.
Okay, well, grab out the 45.
Yeah, go find it. I think
Sure, you
it's
could
like the
find one.
European singles, not like that or something like that. Or that one was made for the European market. I don't remember which way.
Got
But there's
it.
two different ones. There's stereo and a mono.
Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe there's something to... you hear a lot of people complain about stereo when it first came around. And
Right, yeah.
you do hear that on some of those, that they were just really throwing stuff at the wall.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like the switch, and even now there are some things that are being put out in mono, which I find quite interesting. 'Cause I don't think it is such an issue now, but
No, I think they kind of figured it out.
yeah.
Yeah. Gone are the days of like the Who's Eminence front where the vocals are panned to one side
God.
of the track. Which
That is such a
is
bizarre song
terrible.
to listen to like,
Yeah.
in the car.
All right. We're jumping ahead quite a bit for our next one. We're actually going to the mid-70s, 1976, with the track Rock and Roll Band by Boston off of their self-titled debut. Just another band out of Boston, indeed. That might be even more of a theme song than the last Mamas and Papas one was. Like that is
Yeah.
such a like description of how they came to be and who this band is that you're listening to.
Yeah, it's very literal. It's very much
Extremely.
like this is exactly what happened in our lives.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, who knows how true it is, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really great theme song for sure.
Very much so.
I realized we forgot to rate. We haven't been rating.
Oh, no numbers this time?
I think we should, but
Okay.
Mamas and Papas, do we want to do an 8?
I think 8's good. It's a
Okay.
good starting place.
This one, do you want to do a 9?
I'd
then?
give this a 9. Yeah.
Okay, I agree with that.
I'm not the world's biggest Boston fan, but I do think this is pretty good.
I think it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, just classic, simple, rock and roll vibes.
I also find it like genuinely funny that it's on their first album. Because by like the end of the song, you really get the vibe that they're massive now, like playing like
Yeah,
massive
that's what it
arenas and
says,
stuff.
yeah.
Like imagine if they just failed.
That's so true.
I mean, they didn't at all. It was a massive, massive success of an album, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
the idea that you
exactly.
have this on there and you're already like,
You're like,
we're huge
we're
and massive.
amazing.
It would be
Yeah.
hilarious if they completely failed.
Yeah, if no one ever heard that
Yeah.
song. Yeah. And it really is. It's so like, I don't want to call it like dumb, but I think simple is the word of just like,
It's
we're a rock and roll band.
It's very literal. There's no metaphor or
Everybody's
anything.
waiting.
Yeah. Like literally like we're playing up in Rhode Island
Yeah.
for a couple weeks and then we got signed to a record company.
Yeah.
And now
yeah.
we're playing arenas.
Yeah, versus the last song was very much like you have to know context to really understand what's going on.
Yeah, they're using like the bands and the peoples is very much a kind of like metaphors and
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one's just that's the story front to back.
There's less
but-
Boston lore for them to use, I guess. compared
Right,
to, like, Mamas and
yeah.
Papas with like, multiple bands in their same scene that they could reference and pull
yeah, and so
stuff
many
from.
friends. Yeah.
Whereas Boston just has to be like, we're
We're-
playing at a venue, we're signed to a label, we're in an arena.
Yeah.
Very literally, can't be like, oh, remember that track off our last album? What album? There is
Yeah,
nothing for you to
right.
recognize.
Yeah. No, I still liked it though. I think it's a great song, but definitely not as complex of a story as some of these others are.
It's also a song I think where I like the verses a lot more than I like the chorus. I think the chorus is the weakest part of the song.
I agree somewhat. I find the chorus kind of catchy though. Like anticipating. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's cute. But yeah, the verses are definitely
Yeah, I'm not saying the chorus is bad. I just enjoy the verse more, I think. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'm the opposite,
wow,
maybe.
crazy.
I think it's fine. It's a
So
fine
Boston, probably objectively cool-ish, right? For 76, a lot of like screaming guitars, lots of hits.
Yeah. To
The
be
next
honest, I get them mixed up with Chicago all the time.
Yeah,
So
Boston's less jazz, less smooth.
less, yeah, seems more like just rock and roll.
Rock and roll. It is
Yeah.
the definition of like classic rock radio would be Boston
Yeah.
kind of music. This
Anyways.
next one, not cool.
Okay.
Released sometime in 1977, 1978. Originally as a single off of Stiff Records.
Okay.
We're gonna Devo with the track
Alright.
Jocko Homo.
We are Devo.
Are we not men?
We are Devo.
We are Devo. Yeah, Jocko Homo. Probably much more recognizable by that refrain than by the actual title of the song, if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that that's what it was called.
Yeah. Jocko Homo being the kind of taxidermical name they give themselves in the song, in place of being man.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like jocks,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Dumb meathead,
Yeah.
business suit pinhead folks.
Yeah. Also didn't know, oh, did you want to talk about the record label? No.
Stiff Records?
Yeah.
English
I
record
didn't know
label.
it was on Stiff. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Devo, not a British band. They're from Ohio.
Sure are.
I'm not really sure how they got signed to Stiff for their first single, but they sure did.
Yeah, and only the one single.
Yeah,
single,
and then
which
they
is
ended
interesting.
up, I believe, on Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was good.
It's quite good. It's a very much a mission statement from them. They're like, here we are. This is what we sound like. If you don't like this isn't for you.
Yeah.
And you're probably who we're singing about.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a clash definitely with like the opposite of Boston earlier.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
extremely weird. It's at a time when punk rock is starting. And instead of going the hard punk rock side, Devo is going
Electronic.
obtuse.
Yeah.
And a very jagged, like
Also, if you don't know, Devo's de-evolution.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of imagery throughout the song of being dumb or
Dumb.
like you mentioned meathead. They
Yeah.
mentioned pinhead, which we were talking about.
Like a sliding back of humanity.
Yeah, jock. So there's a lot of imagery of
Yeah, just sort of the dumb.
ape like
Mm-hmm.
he mentions. So pretty consistent with
Very-
that.
Yeah, yeah. It's good. I think that's what makes it a great mission statement. Not only is it musically going to press you to either like it or not, lyrically they're kind of addressing Devo if you're listening, and if you're not listening, then you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
But
I do think it's a bit like we were talking about how the last song was so simple and straightforward. I think this is the opposite. It's a bit vague,
yeah,
I guess, and I think difficult for a person that's just listening to it to like really listen to it. You
Yeah.
know? So I don't know. It's hard for me. I'm between a 7 and an 8.
7 and 8,
Yeah.
7.5 then.
Okay. What were you gonna do?
I think 8's a good one. I think it's yeah, as you said, it's a little grating. It's not exactly like the smoothest like pop hit around. I like this kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I understand that. I'll be the first to tell you, it's definitely not for everybody.
No, yeah. No, I think it's a great song, but I don't think it's clear enough. It's so weird because it's like, where's that line
Mm-hmm.
between it being too vague or vague enough but also understandable? I
Right.
think this rides that line.
Yeah.
But it's still amazing, and I think like you said, it's very much a, if you don't like that sound, you're probably not gonna like Devo.
Yeah, I know. Their label wasn't super appreciative of it once they'd get to Warner Brothers. The first album would sell okay, second one would sell even worse. And they're like, "Okay, guys, you got one more, or you're gone. Like, you gotta actually make something people want to listen to, or you're never coming back."
It's very interesting
Yeah.
because
And then they made Whip It, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very interesting because, like, I think people look back at least at this album pretty fondly. And so, their debut, I think, you're not really saying yes or no, but
I mean, they wouldn't become like massive until the third one.
no, I mean today.
Oh, I
looking
think
back
they're quite
on-
positive on
Yeah,
it. Like,
I think like today's listeners look back pretty fondly on the first record, so it's interesting that like back then it's one of those that just didn't hit.
well, it's an interesting one, right? It's sort of like anything with that much synth at the time is sort of the realm of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I know like Kraftwerk at the time was having some mild success around also heavy synth. And at the time, I remember reading somewhere that like in the UK, for instance, like synth music was considered, they call like Doctor Who music. And it's just, I think it's impractical to use. I think a lot of like synths and stuff are like, large.
Yeah, huge.
Like you had to
giant-
be an actual nerd to figure out how to use it.
right. Yeah.
And so here's Devo being that nerd, but then they're like shaping it into something actually straddling the line between too fringe and maybe mainstream that they wouldn't really fully perfect until probably Whip It or something.
Yeah.
But it's neat, but weird.
Yeah. No, I think you can also see their evolution.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Totally to be that, to basically go into the early 80s with like just these massive hits. So, yeah,
yeah.
good song.
Good song. Speaking of taking that synth electronica sound to, the pinnacle of it, we're jumping into the 80s now, 1982 specifically. Another song not off an actual album. This is the Sisters of Mercy with Adrenochrome. I was going to say the B-side, that's why I slipped up there. It's technically, they billed it as a double A-side single.
Of course.
With Body Electric on the other side, but Adrenochrome. So, Adrenochrome, Sisters of Mercy, a little different than what we just heard from Rock Roll Band or, Jocko Homo. I would say this one's much more lo-fi.
Yeah, totally.
This feels like an indie release, which it probably was. Early Sisters of Mercy there. No drummer. That's a drum machine they got going on. So they got a full-on robot drummer, which they named Dr. Avalanche.
Yeah, we love him.
Extremely low, like, fidelity guitar. I think it's real crunchy. Vocals with a nice echo effect and a very consistent bass line, and that's pretty much the entire song. Yep. Also, by far the hardest to understand out of any of them.
Yeah, I had to look up the lyrics because even though I've heard that song before, I just never.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the effects and then just the way that
Just the way
Andrew Eldritch
lines.
sings, it's just
Yeah.
it's not an easy one.
So he says in there, as I said, each of them, they mention their own things. This one, it is, for the Sisters of Mercy, filled with panic in their eyes, rise dead on adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome, if
Yeah.
you're British.
Adrenochrome was believed to be a psychedelic substance made from a reaction with adrenaline inside of your body. It's believed to be a naturally derived psychotic element.
Interesting.
They believed in the 40s, 50s, 60s that it may actually cause schizophrenia.
Wow.
Their thought was maybe people's bodies were producing too much of this, and that was what would make them crazy. Though they were never able to prove that, and then that theory just kind of went away.
Like they stopped studying it?
Well, they did study it, and it turned out to not actually be the case, that
Oh,
it wasn't
got it.
causing that in schizophrenics. So like, oops, well, that's what we thought. But that didn't necessarily stop kind of the fringier elements from thinking, wait, can I get like really high on this?
Of course.
Was a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas guy famously wrote about that in his book, saying he got like real high on it, but it's never really been proven to do that. At least like he was describing. So here they are, they're using it in the same kind of way. The song's definitely just like describing exactly the kind of club Sisters of Mercy are playing at. People just getting like real high and dancing on the floor.
Yeah.
So this is actually a pretty decent theme song. It's just good luck understanding, and you have to kind of read between the lines of what he's talking about.
Yeah. It's definitely not literal.
Yeah, no,
by
this
any
is
means.
the Sisters of Mercy are making dark club music for dancing, and they're describing people just high dancing at the club.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like there's not literal Catholic girls. And...
Dead Catholic girls all over the place.
Yeah.
That they're harvesting the adrenochrome out of. So be careful out there. This one got kind of the idea of adrenochrome in the more modern day has been stolen by the fringe conspiracies minded people of the world, that the powerful, wealthy elites are harvesting children and scaring them and killing them and then harvesting the adrenochrome out of their bodies.
Just like Monsters, Inc.
You know what? It's funny. If you look it up, I saw Monsters, Inc. reference when I was doing some research into like adrenochrome. Like, I think I found like a whole thread on like Reddit or something where people are talking about, is the story of Monsters, Inc. literally just the conspiracy theory of the rich government, powerful people stealing the life of children.
Wow. Gotta watch out.
Gotta watch out.
Keep your loved ones close.
But this predates those kind of conspiracies. This is using more of the psychedelic side of it.
I was gonna give this another 7 or 8.
7? I like this one quite a bit.
All right, let's do 8.
We'll do 8. Last thoughts. Hunter S. Thompson was the guy I was thinking of for the Fear and Loathing
Oh,
in Las Vegas.
got it.
Yeah.
Thanks for remembering that.
Yep.
Thanks for pulling
Had to
that
pull
out.
that one deep out of the brain. Yeah, moving along, going away from the goth club scene to the arguably British sounding metal scene of Washington State. We got Queen of the Reich by Queensryche. Queensryche, not from England, from Bellevue, Washington, regardless of how much they sound like Iron Maiden.
They literally, I was thinking that. They just sound like Iron Maiden, which is great. I love Iron Maiden. I don't think I've ever heard a song by them. And now I really want to go listen to them.
They have a pretty good rock opera called Operation Mindcrime. It's kind of like a weird sci-fi, Manchurian Candidate kind of thing. Sort of fun. But this is not off of that. This is off of their debut self-titled EP. And Queen of the Reich, Queensryche. You can see that there's a connection there.
Yeah.
This is the first one where we might have one of these on this week's episode, where the song came first.
Hold that.
They used to be called The Mob.
The Mob.
Yep. And then they changed it to Queensryche.
Wow.
And they changed the spelling, though, because they don't want to be associated with Nazis.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's spelled Reich in the song.
It
like
is.
Nazi
Yep. In
Reich.
the song, it is R-E-I-C-H, but in the band name, it is R-Y-C-H-E.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good move.
It's a very good choice there. Yeah. And that one, your soul slipped away. It belongs to the Queen of the Reich. The Queen of the Reich. Yeah, she's coming for you. Mm-hmm. Bad lady stealing you away in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was really incredible lyrically. I did have to look it up again
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard to catch every single word when he's just wailing so magnificently.
Right.
So,
Yeah, a lot of those kind of long,
yes.
accentuated things were just kind of impossible to tell what word he was actually starting on.
Yeah, but the lyrics were honestly really good. It was very consistent
Mm-hmm.
throughout the whole song. Like they are very much talking about like a scary vampire type lady.
Yeah. Yeah, and so obviously being an evil woman stealing people in the night, not autobiographical like some of the others have been. This is
Exactly. Yeah.
this doesn't actually tell about them, but thematically, musically, very fitting for the band. It's letting you know what they're gonna sound like. Mm-hmm. That would work great as an anthem at a show.
It's got their name kind of.
Similar to Iron Maiden's Iron Maiden.
I was
Actually, now
literally
just thinking about that.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah.
But Iron Maiden's Iron Maiden can be more ambiguous because they say Iron Maiden's gonna get you no matter how far.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden could be self-referential.
Yep, and that song definitely swaps between being an Iron Maiden
Yes.
and them themselves multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. This one, I don't see that
No,
being able to happen. So
no.
I think it was a really great song though.
Yeah.
This is hard for me to rate.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm just rating on vibes, probably 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they're talking about themselves or anything. I don't know. What do you think? 7, 8?
I'll give it a 9. Why not? I don't care.
Oh,
What
shoot.
does the numbering mean? It was a
It's
great
our
song.
numbers.
I can rate it whatever I want. If I enjoy it, I can give it a 9.
Cool.
Yeah. Next one, staying in the same sort of metal vein that we're going down to San Francisco. We got Metallica, track Whiplash. Has there ever been a better song about headbanging?
Not that I know
Whiplash?
of. Not that I know of.
Nope. We'll never stop. We'll never quit because we're Metallica.
Yeah, incredible song. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Whiplash off Metallica's debut, Kill 'Em All.
Yep, it just encapsulates the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very much this is what you do when you come and see us.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Purely perfect.
Yeah, that's what is thrash metal. That.
yeah. Yeah.
You need a description. You need, your historical document to showcase everything about it. It tells you what happens at it, and it, audibly, it's musically there.
Yeah.
Lyrically, it's describing all the attention you need to put into it.
Yeah. Literally. And they even mention their Marshall amps.
Yeah.
It's just it gets the details down to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty incredible. I read that they played it literally as fast as human possible.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Like they when they were recording it, they played literally as fast as they could.
Yeah. Sounds like the Metallica way.
Yeah. Yeah. Not much more to say about it. Do you have any?
Any little bits of wisdom?
Um,
I know it was the last song they wrote for the album.
It was their first single.
Yeah. Which again, great mission statement. What are you gonna do? First single. Tell them who you are.
This is what the scene is. This is what we sound like.
Start strengthening your neck muscles.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole album pretty much sounds like this.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they were heavily influenced by Venom.
Yeah, definitely. You can really hear it on there.
Yes.
Some extreme Venom influence.
Yeah. Especially early Metallica. But yeah, Metallica is an interesting band. They definitely changed over time.
Yeah. Yeah, it got a little longer.
Yeah.
As the albums had gone, they'd get kind of more epic.
More complex.
Less songs about headbanging.
Yeah.
More about history and
gold miners.
death.
Death. If we should do a whole Metallica episode.
So the whole one going through every Metallica era.
Just yeah.
And
yeah.
why, according to the fandom, every possible album can be the worst album.
Literally. Every single one. But the true answer would be wait, which one?
Lulu. But I don't know if
Is
that
it
counts.
Lulu or
Yeah.
is it what was the one that they hated each other?
Saint Anger.
Saint Anger.
Well, probably all of them they hate each other,
I
but
think it's Lulu.
Lulu
I'm so
is
sorry, Lou
objectively
Reed.
worse than Saint Anger. At least some of Saint
I
Anger.
think I'd rather listen to Saint Anger than Lulu.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever want to hear any song off of Lulu again.
Hey, you know, in like 30 years, there'll be some genre that's completely influenced off of Lulu, and we'll all look back on it and be
That's
like,
what they say. That's what Metallica says. Is they say that like people just don't get it.
Kirk Hammett says Whiplash was Kurt Cobain's favorite Metallica song.
Wow.
I don't have any source that Kurt Cobain ever said that, but Kirk Hammett says that Kurt did. So
I mean, I take his word. He's not like full of himself, I don't think. He's
No.
pretty good.
he has a solo album coming out here
Yeah.
sometime.
You excited?
I am. I really liked his solo EP, but I liked that it was instrumental, and the new one does have some vocals on it. So we'll see if it's the same or not.
We'll report back.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Metallica song?
I don't know. You put me on the spot there a little bit. Man, I'm gonna go like against the grain. I mean, like realistically, my favorite that I like pop on is probably like King Nothing or something.
Oh, hell
Something
yeah.
like really that would be like considered lame in the canon of
yeah.
Metallica.
Yeah. That's funny. Mine's For Whom the Bell Tolls.
That's a very
I
good
think
one.
you knew that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best one. I like when they play it live. You get to go, oi, oi.
Very good. All right, so I think we're gonna jump to maybe the opposite of Metallica with our next one, pop and stupid, and not metal and stupid.
I was gonna say ABBA, so
It's
honestly, that was
not-
pretty close.
It's not ABBA, but you're not that far off. 1986, Everybody Have Fun Tonight by Wang Chung. Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Can you tell me what a Wing Chun is?
No, start dancing.
It's wild that they even asked that in the song, and it never goes answered.
Nope, no answer to that.
I do have an answer.
You haven't answered what a Wang Chung is.
It means yellow bell in Mandarin,
Wow.
and it's also Huang Chong, but they had to change it to Wang Chong because David Geffen told him it's the English people won't know how to say it. So
And Wang is funny.
Wang is funny. Wang is funny, but again, even when you do know what Wang Chong is, the song still doesn't make any sense.
Don't leave me hanging on a party line.
What?
That's what they say in the song right before they go into Everybody Have Fun Tonight.
Everybody yellow bell tonight.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Hit that first note.
I had hated that.
You hated it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're not. That's not an immediate 10 like
No.
Metallica was.
No. I think it's a 5.
You think it's a 5?
And only because they say their band name in the song.
So if they didn't say Wang Chung, it'd be even lower. You think?
3.
You give it a 3 if they
It's
did.
nonsensical.
It is nonsensical.
It's cheesy, but
It is
not in a
cheesy.
fun
Oh.
way, in my opinion.
I think it's fun, but it is pretty bad. Like, it's objectively kind of a bad song, but I don't think it's supposed to be good. I think it's supposed to just be kind of a dance number that, you know, you can just dance to. Like, I think that thing's designed to be like a 12-minute club remix
God.
and nothing else.
No. You know what? Their other song is good. Dance Hall.
Dance Hall Days is objectively a lot better.
Like, that
it's less
one's pretty
dumb.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
this song is very, very dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Dumb in like a way where it doesn't even make sense.
Right. No,
That's
it doesn't.
Irritates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else to say about Wang Chung beyond that it's dumb and it's a 5? If you're being generous.
No.
Uh,
I've said my piece. I could say more mean things, but I will leave it at that.
Well, on one side of the music scene, we had everybody have fun night going on 1986. On the other side, so we got in New York, got something else going on. We had the Beastie Boys fighting for your right to party.
I'm just jealous, it's the Beastie Boys!
Yeah. Kick it. Beastie Boys, fight for your right. Sort of a mission statement that was done tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
That
yes.
nobody noticed was supposed to be
I know.
ironic.
It's one of those songs that, like, people are like, yeah, party, man. But, like, if you actually listen to it, it's very
dorks.
much making fun of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, Ma, you threw away my best porno mag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a great
funny.
song.
It's
I
a
love
great
it.
song.
I never get tired of it.
No.
Beastie Boys
Always on vacation.
play their own instruments.
They do. Originally a punk
They
band.
were a punk band, yep. As children, basically, in New York.
Opened for Madonna.
Didn't know that.
She wanted the Fat Boys,
Oh,
but they were already
no.
booked.
Oh,
And they're like, well, we have this other thing. It's called the Beastie Boys. Do you want them?
Not exactly the same, but
And that was before Licensed to Ill.
Oh my!
So they were nobodies.
I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
That's big. That's
Can you
big for
imagine you're
them.
going to go see Madonna and that's opening for it?
Not at all. Not at all. It would be confusing.
Very strange.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about how like we like this album,
It's great.
like Paul's Boutique. Like they have a lot of really great albums that we somehow don't have. But
You could also have like 5 cuts off Licensed to Ill that would just meet this criteria of theme songs.
I know when you said Beastie Boys, I thought you were gonna play Paul Revere.
Yeah, I went with Fight for Your Right because of its sort of association with them as an image.
Right. I think it's most well known.
It's well known. It kind of forced their hand to fit a style for a brief period of time.
Yeah.
And like attitude because it was so popular, even though, as I said, it was supposed to be ironic.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you could have done that. No Sleep Till Brooklyn also covers them on tour. You know, a lot of kind of autobiographical. All, of course, in hip hop, referencing yourself by name has to be done once per song.
Yeah.
At least,
yeah.
especially in this time period.
It's a legal requirement.
Yeah, you got to.
You also need to shout out your producers
Yeah.
and your best friends.
Mhm.
And yeah. No. Paul Revere is like literally like we were hanging out and we met. And, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I still think that this is kind of similar to Devo, where it's just like, you know what you're getting into. Like they're goofy as hell. They have like this weird kind of like rock vibe, but obviously they're still rapping.
Yeah.
And they're white as hell.
Very
They're
white.
honky
Oh,
as hell.
so white.
They're painfully white. So yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. 8, 9?
9.
9.
Or we give it an 8 because, as I said, it's not actually. It's a fictitious version of themselves presented in song. We can go
Nah,
9. That's
I'm doing
fine.
9.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's 2 reasons actually to pick this song, and that is because it's also sampled in the next song.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay.
You want more hip hop?
I sure would
What
love
if it was hip hop done by a metal band?
No.
No, too bad.
Take it
You're getting
back.
anyway.
No, put it back.
Anthrax with the cut "I'm the Man."
No, please.
It's "I'm the Man," or saying the song "I'm D Man" by Anthrax off their "I'm the Man" EP in 1987. So it's 1 year after "Fight for Your Right."
Wow.
Anthrax coming out of the same scene as Metallica, thrash metal,
Yeah.
not hip hop. So let's get that right out of the way. This is definitely a joke song.
Yeah, it was kind of clear, but just in case.
Though interesting, I would say while it is a joke song, it's not really a joke at hip hop. They're using more of hip hop to poke fun at themselves.
Yeah, I
kinda
don't
fun.
think that they're making fun of him.
No, which a lot of things did at the time, especially in metal. Like hip hop is sort of a no kind of thing, and then here's Anthrax not making fun of metal, but using it to make fun of themselves is kind of humorous and Nice.
Yeah. Wait. Didn't they do something else?
They do a big hit song. They did a song with Public Enemy.
Yeah,
would-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Bring the noise.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they would do a very well-received remix of Bring the Noise with Public Enemy.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was really good. So they clearly like hip hop.
They like hip hop. It's
I
kind of,
think.
you know, that's why they're not making fun of it. They're actually trying to do it. And actually, from what I read, they weren't going to rap on this song originally. They were originally actually going to work with the Beastie Boys to have
Oh my
them rap on
gosh.
the song. And the Beastie Boys had scheduling conflicts. Instead of waiting, Anthrax was like, we'll just do it ourselves.
That actually makes a lot of sense because it kind of feels like they're emulating
Very much
the
so.
Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys are sampled slightly on there. They got the yeah from Fight for Your Right in there. It also heavily features Hava Nagila.
Yes,
the
on the
guitarist
guitar.
playing.
Yeah.
The beginning is exactly the same to In a Big Country, like the echoed drums. Like
Yeah.
it features Metallica at times. Got Master sampled in there a few times.
Yeah, it was goofy.
Very
Goofy
goofy,
as hell.
kind of terrible. But
It
very
was terrible,
goofy.
but it was like kind of like cute.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
It's like they're having fun.
They're having fun. It comes through.
It's not like Wang Chung where it's like they're trying to make a big ass record.
Anthrax knows this isn't a hit.
They're not trying to. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're just fucking around
Yeah.
in a good way. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. 7,
7.
8.
You're
I
gonna
don't know.
8. You're
I
gonna
mean,
take.
I felt like I felt like I could see their personalities come through
Mm-hmm.
as a band as well. Like they clearly don't take themselves too seriously.
Right. Which you find in some other Anthrax material as well. So it is sort of on brand to kind of have a little bit of a goofiness to
I
it.
won't ever intentionally listen to that song again at the same time. So maybe
Right.
a 7.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. I feel like it makes me a little warm and cozy inside.
There you go. See, you know what? I think that's fair then. I'll take that. I thought we were going to score it a lot lower, but you know what?
It surprised me. At first I was like,
Oh,
God, no. No way. I don't want this.
You know any rapping metal?
Yeah.
But it turned out maybe you did want a little bit of rapping metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think they kind of go hand in hand a little bit. They're both
little
pretty
bit.
angsty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, sort of like it was like Devo earlier. While they weren't what you would call punk rock, what they were doing was very punk rock.
Yeah. Going against the grain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Next, we have something that came out way later than I ever thought it did. And that's Skid Row's Youth Gone Wild off their self-titled debut in 1989. Skid Row, Youth Gone Wild, on self-titled debut. Hair metal, isn't it?
Sure was.
Sure was. Hey, man. There's something you ought to know.
Uh-huh.
Park Avenue
Uh-huh.
leads to Skid
Skid Row.
Row.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it?
They said so.
I trust them. I don't.
You gotta
I've
trust
never
them.
been near Skid Row before my whole life.
Would
so,
Sebastian Bach lead you wrong? I don't think so.
You know what? He loves trains.
He does love trains.
But I just know that there are some great fucking trains here in Bangor.
Yeah, I mean it's
Model trains.
Skid
by the way.
Row. It's hair metal. I don't really know exactly how metal went from Whiplash in 83 to Skid Row in 89.
I have a theory.
Yeah,
Women.
women. Mm-hmm. Like fans or
Yep. I think they were trying to appeal more to women.
Mm.
And so they started dressing more promiscuously for the women. Metallica didn't care about their fans being women. But I think Skid Row cares a great deal.
Yeah.
That's my theory. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Which do you prefer?
Oh, Metallica, 100%.
yeah.
However,
However,
I gotta say, I love this song.
You love Skid Row? Huh?
You know how I be. I love this cheesy hair metal. It's kind of my jam. I don't find it good.
No, it's objectively terrible, but I know what
It's
you
just
mean.
fun.
It's like junk food.
Exactly.
Like I'm not getting anything like enriching out of the
no,
song.
no. But it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just goofy as hell. It's
Very
campy.
goofy. The weird thing is,
It's not
it's
supposed
presented
to be. Yeah.
very straight
Yeah.
face. I don't think it's supposed to like ironically like it. I think it's supposed
No.
to be like really cool.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
he's
but
wailing so much and saying such dumb things.
yeah, he's a bad boy. You know that?
Yeah,
He's from
yeah.
the wrong side of town, okay? That's serious.
That's serious.
We should
You wouldn't get that, rich guy, but don't worry, you'll end up down here with us someday.
exactly homeless on Skid Row.
Skid Row.
But once again, I loved it. I thought, you know what, this is Skid Row.
Yep, that's what they sound like.
You know, like
Yep.
I have no qualms. I think I can't give it a 10.
No.
It's not actually good to be a 10, but I will give it a 9. 100%.
9, dang.
I'm sorry. I think that think about it. You're in the 80s, right?
Yeah,
You're listening
barely, because it's 1989, but yeah.
That's late.
It's
Oh,
very
wow,
late.
that's late. So you got like, you know, your Madonnas,
Mm-hmm.
your new waves,
Yeah.
and then you got like your really hard stuff like
Mhm.
Iron Maiden, Metallica.
Yeah.
I mean, 89 technically you got like a
You already-
Soundgarden.
Yeah, I think Soundgarden's like on a major label around now.
However, they don't get me, you know.
No.
I'm a 15-year-old
Yeah.
white boy jock.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Madonna doesn't know how I feel.
No.
You think Lars Ulrich knows how I feel?
No
Actually,
way.
He might a little bit.
Depeche Mode? No
Yes.
way. They don't get me.
They don't know. The
Skid Row?
Thompson twins might be a little late for them, but still, you know, Skid Row on the other hand, Sebastian Bach, they're bad
He
boys.
gets me.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't play by the rules.
Yeah.
He knows exactly how I feel. So
Yeah.
I think that is what hair metal's about, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Being seen.
Exactly. Appealing to the masses.
Appealing to the masses.
The masses being teenage boys and girls.
Yeah.
Because once again, you're dressed like the tightest pants you've ever
The teenage
seen.
girls look at them and say, that guy looks like me.
Oh my god. I think that you know, they kind of feminize themselves a little bit.
A lot of it.
Not a lot of it, I wouldn't say, because they were still assholes. They weren't like emotional.
Emotionally. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they stole their little sister's clothing,
Yeah,
but they didn't steal the little sister's mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, anyway, hair metal is for football players and cheerleaders. And that's my TED Talk.
Dang. So
And
you-
also for me, because I like the camp.
Yeah.
Even though is it campy if it's not meant to be?
It's like 35 years removed from this track, I think. It can mean something different than it tried to back then.
It's campy as hell, man.
Yeah.
It's campy as
It's like
hell.
a bad horror movie. I know it's
I
not
can-
good, but
yeah, I
I'm
can just
enjoying it.
picture him like filming this music video, throwing rocks and shit at the wall, you know?
Yeah. Society doesn't get me, man.
Exactly. Like, you don't understand. I'm living out here on the streets. I'm a bad boy, and I love that.
And I love model trains.
There's some great fucking trains in Bangor. That's my favorite video on the internet. maybe I'll comment it below. for you
Sebastian
guys.
Bach, like being at the train convention.
Yeah, I think it's a Trailer Park Boys episode, but yeah, he's like at this tiny model train convention, and he's like, "There's some great fucking trains here," and it's just like dads and little boys, just being like, "Who the hell is this?" I can't believe he talks like that.
Got that high pitched voice. I mean, then you listen to the song, you're like, oh, that's why he sings like that, because that's just what he sounds
just his
like.
voice.
That's just, yeah.
Is he small?
I don't think so.
That's crazy. He has such a like.
Yeah, I was really listening to
interesting-
it a lot in this one, just the way they kind of sing. Like, it is kind of interesting. He's using himself, like, totally, like, in the same way like the guitar is, like, almost like a whammy bar on himself.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
A lot of, like, swinging around and up and down.
He's the opposite of small. He's 6'3".
6'3". Wow.
Man's tall.
Tall man. High-pitched voice.
Wow, Canadian. So he's not
That's-
from Skid Row.
Well, that's probably then why he was on your Trailer Park Boys episode. Canadian musician.
Yeah, but let's get back to the source. That's fucking
It's also
wrong.
not Skid Row in L.A. Maybe he moved to L.A. when he was young. Axl Rose famously moved to L.A. and then was inspired to write like all of the Appetite for Destruction off of how horrible it was there.
We'll have to watch the Sebastian Bach documentary to figure out.
I guarantee you there's a behind the music on Skid Row.
Oh my god, I just literally opened his Wikipedia. Bach was born in the Bahamas and raised in Peterborough, Ontario. One of 8 children.
Dang.
That's I gotta read
In
the
the
rest of this.
Bahamas.
That's crazy. Born in the Bahamas. He lived in New Jersey.
Well, hang on, guys. We'll get back with our Sebastian Bach special where we cover his
Honestly,
entire
I
life.
skimmed this. He never even lived in LA.
Oh,
What
man.
a liar.
Oh,
We gotta write an article about this. Blow the top off this thing.
bump that score down to an 8.
I almost want to go 7.
Wow.
I'll go 8. But dang, that's just that grinds my gears.
Maybe he was on Park Avenue and then slid down to Skid Row. Maybe he's the person the song he's talking to.
But he never even lived on Skid
Yeah.
Row. He wasn't homeless on Skid Row being a bad boy. I can't believe this right now.
Oh, man. Musicians are lying to you in their music? What?
That's just straight up.
I don't
I
buy
bet
it.
he just did it for the smooches.
Yeah. All right, Emma, that was 10 more theme songs. Different. More divisive by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I'm just pissed now.
No, you're just
I'm just
angry.
angry.
Sebastian Bach lied to you, huh?
I'll never listen to Skid Row in the same way again. I'll always remember they're lying.
They're lying to you, huh?
They're like pretending.
Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe Anthrax wasn't the man.
No. Don't say that.
Next, you'll tell me Wang Chung doesn't speak Chinese.
But he was reading a book in Mandarin.
Or is he reading a book about Mandarin? Oh, well.
I'm tired of the lies.
All right. Well, this has been Tapes You Leave Behind, covering some more theme songs. We'll catch you next time with something equally as exciting.
I want some shittier songs, by the way.
You want to go even worse?
Yeah, like we had a couple stinkers, but like I want something real that makes me want to turn it off.
I mean, I thought the Anthrax track might do that, but it turned out it went the wrong way. The horseshoe curved back around from
Exactly.
terrible to enjoyable
yeah.
again.
yeah. Yeah. No, I want some absolute doo-doo garbage.
You were complaining a lot as the Wang Chung song went on.
because it's just like ugh, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Kenny Chesney.
All right,
It's
I'll
like,
look first.
ugh.
I'll look for some garbage. I have an idea for a third one, and the idea around it, like by definition, means that there could be some horrendous stuff in there,
Okay.
but it may also be so campy that it's good again.
Yeah.
But
it's hard, huh?
If it's all camp, some of it has to be worse than others.
You never know with
You never
me.
know. We'll find out.
It might make me
Stay
like it.
stay tuned.
Yep.
Don't go anywhere. Make sure to hit that like, that subscribe, follow on the socials,
Listen to our old eps.
comment, Send it to your friends.
Oh yeah, we're also starting to put up YouTube videos.
There are some YouTube videos on the YouTube if you
of
like
various items,
watching stuff.
record hauls.
I might do some shorter reviews on there as well. Kind of 10-minute length stuff going over albums that maybe don't have as much historical or storied content to talk about.
Just little shorties.
Just to have some video. People like to see things.
Yeah, show them.
Show them all.
Show them, homie.
All right, well, keep your eyes open. You'll never know it might show up because we are tapes you leave behind.